Welcome everyone to this episode of our podcast of our playlist on spiritual questions answered. And today's topic is why most people don't progress in meditation. Yeah, so first of all, we are going to talk about what do I mean by meditation and what do I mean by progress. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask by typing it in the chat box. All right, I will take a look at them after I present to you what I would like to say about this topic. Okay, so first of all, what is meditation? So what do I mean by meditation? Nowadays, there are many different practices, and people also have this, not only do they call meditation, there are also stuff which they call mindfulness, right? This practice called mindfulness, which if you take a look at it, is not very much different from meditation. Some people really like to differentiate it, but to me, it's really pretty much the same thing, all right? So what exactly is meditation or mindfulness? So what we are talking about is actually a practice where typically people put in effort to focus and concentrate yes, and mostly this is a mental thing. It's very mental, it's about the mind, it's about the brain, yeah, and there are certain outcomes that we are looking for in general when people meditate. Now, most people look for this outcome. Yeah, these are the typical outcome that people want. So what they want is, so first of all, in the heart or emotional wise, they're looking to achieve peace. Yes. The second thing that they are looking to achieve is usually mental, or in terms of the mind, they want clarity. All right, so there's a heart component, a mind component. Of course, mind, they can be because people have a lot of headaches, and usually under these two together, there'll be things that affect our mental and emotional states. For example, stress. A lot of people who are very stressed, they would like to do meditation or mindfulness, practice mindfulness to help them regulate it. But the most important thing, all right, the most important to me is I've seen meditation, mindfulness being used in many things, and to me, it's essentially a mental training. And depending on what are your objectives, you can actually design a particular meditation or mindfulness practice to achieve your outcome that is mainly something that is very mental. And of course, from mental, our mental states, right, actually will affect our emotional, correct? So this is usually something that meditation is used for. Is normally we use it to achieve mental and emotional outcomes. For those of us in the energy world, all right, where so Cordelia and myself, CordyKet, we are involved in energy healing and all that. So those of us who are into energy, we will note that meditation also bring energy effects. All right, so energy effects. So basically, energy, typically people, when we do meditation for energy is, we want our energy to be more of harmony. Some people look to have bigger energy, grow their energy. Yeah. Some people look to cleanse their energy. Some people look for healing. So there are all kinds of this type of considerations for energy, and also typically the same considerations can apply to mind and heart. Now, I will just try to narrow it down, because most people, they are looking for this heart and mind peace and clarity. Now, what are the kind of people who normally go for meditation? So usually they are the people who don't have peace at heart and they don't have clarity of mind, and they find they need some sort of practice that can help them. Of course, there are also people who look to do meditation for physical benefits. So the benefits of meditation is quite nowadays is quite documented. They talk about, in terms of health, it's very good because it lowers blood pressure, for example. It helps with heart, cardiovascular diseases, managing stress levels, certain biomarkers, and so on. So it's all medically documented nowadays. There's quite a lot of studies on it. So there are people also looking for that. But I think, if I am not wrong, most people are looking for these two, yeah? And most people are looking to really progress in terms of here. So we talk about meditation. This is essentially what meditation is about. And progress, what do I mean by progress? And then you can say, why is it that most people don't progress in meditation? Now, some of you may know, or most of you may not know, meditation actually goes through many stages. All right, meditation actually goes through many stages, and I'm not going to cover all the stages that we know, but I'm going to cover typical stages that most people go through. All right, so when I talk about stages of meditation, so if you want to progress, ideally we would like to progress to different stages of meditation and also achieve results in terms of heart and mind, because that's what most people are looking for, in a higher level of achievement. Okay, so first stage is what I call monkey mind stage. Anyone who's done meditation or who's attempted meditation and mindfulness will notice the first stage is monkey mind, and they will understand what and why I call it monkey mind. So monkey mind is a stage whereby when you try to meditate and your mind is jumping all over the place like a monkey, right? And you just won't settle down, because in meditation you're looking for something to focus upon and to concentrate upon, and so that your mind is not all over the place. So, but the first stage you always start with is the monkey mind stage. So now the second stage of meditation is when we get past the first stage and we actually enter the first meditative state, first true meditative state, and I call this state the peace stage. Typically, if you're able to get past the monkey mind stage, we enter a stage of relative peace or calmness or stillness, and it may require a lot of effort to reach this second stage. Now, what is the common method that is employed to help people get to the second stage of meditation? So when we look at many different types of meditation, or practically all different types of meditation, they have something in common, all right? There's something in common, right, is this thing. The black dot here. What does the black dot represent? The black dot represents a focus point. Now, regardless of what type of meditation out there, I dare say practically all types of meditation have a focus point. Now, what's the focus point? The focus point is where the object or something, whether it's physical or non-physical, that a meditator focus upon as much as possible during the entire meditation. Usually that's the description, all right? The meditator is supposed to keep the focus of his or her mind, or awareness, or the mindfulness on that one thing. Now, the first stage our mind goes through is monkey mind. Our brain is jumping all over the place. Now, the only way for our mind to get past the first stage to go to the second stage is to help the mind stop jumping all over the place. Yeah? So the standard way of doing is we tell our mind, we give an instruction to focus on one thing. Tell our mind, don't jump like a monkey all over the place. Focus on one thing. Focus all directions. Just think about this thing. Now, the most common one is called breath. Or the most common focus point is the breath. Yeah? And mindfulness of breath is, I dare say, is the most common meditation that is being taught and practiced out there. Because the breath is something that we can bring with us wherever we go. As long as we are alive, we have our breath. Yeah, we don't need another object. But of course, there are many different types of focus points, and not just breath. Yeah, but the most common one is breath. There are people who use mantras, so they focus on a certain mantra, a certain sound. Some people use sound, focus on certain sound, keep on repeating a particular sound. Some people use candlelight. Some people may use an image of their preferred divine deity, and so on and so forth. All right, so the most common one is breath, and even mindfulness of breath. I always like to share with people that when I learn mindfulness of breath or meditation, focusing on the breath, there are different ways of focusing on the breath. And focus on the breath at the nostrils, the air entering and coming out at the nostrils. And focus on the breath. So some people do abdominal breathing, focus on the abdomen, breathe in, breathe out, right? Focus like that. And then a different teacher taught me mindfulness of breath is follow the breath entire way from the nostrils all the way into the lungs, and as we exhale from the lungs all the way, learn to be with the breath, follow the journey of the air. So different teachers may be different, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as you are able to focus on one thing, right, then the mind stops jumping around, and if you train it enough, suddenly your mind stops jumping around and you enter the second stage of meditation, and that is peace. For those people who have never experienced peace, or whose minds are always, always jumping around, always too energized, or is always, thinking about this and that, and have never had peace in the mind, this second stage is absolute heaven. It's like, wow, finally, you can really have peace when you are awake. It's not the same as falling asleep. Because falling asleep, yes, your mind is generally quite peaceful, or for some people, very peaceful. But for some people, right, they really want to meditate because they heard about how meditation is able to calm people's mind and bring peace, or even bring silence to the mind. And many people want that because they are not able to have peace, whether it's at heart or in the mind, and their minds and brains are not able to think clearly. So that's what people are looking for. And all you need is to have a focus point, and you keep on practicing, keep on trying, right? That is the key. Keep on practicing, keep on trying, and one day you suddenly realize you can reach this, and it's peace. Nice peace, very calm, and it's happening when you are awake. For some people, it's almost impossible, and it's so valuable to be able to achieve peace while in a waking moment. Now, and let's say the meditator keep on practicing this. So the meditator will need some time, years, months at least, to master this, learning how to focus on the focus point, whether it's a breath or otherwise, and to be able to reach this peace stage. So it may be very difficult for people who meditate, and they find they cannot reach this stage. After a while, you find that, okay, if you are really into meditation, you find you're able to reach this stage. And it's so nice that people will want to stay there, right, in meditative peace, stay there for as long as possible and enjoy it. And then something else happens. Now, typically, if someone is able to reach the third stage of of meditation, they will enter the third stage. The third stage is what I call the issue stage. What is the third stage like? The third stage is very similar to the first stage. It is a stage whereby the mind acts out and seems to be like the monkey mind, and you seem to have a lot of disturbing thoughts. A lot of disturbing thoughts, and the peace will be broken. Yeah? But most people are unable to differentiate that they have actually reached the third stage. Most people would think that when their mind gets all flustered, a lot of disturbing thoughts come out, they think that they have regressed. They have gone backwards from stage 2 back to stage 1. All right, and they continue doing the same thing. Focus, and they hope to reach the peace stage. And typically, they don't go anywhere. And in this way, they do not actually progress in meditation, because typically for people who actually progress, they will have to go through 1, 2, 3. All right, if they deal with it properly, they will enter the fourth stage. Fourth stage is what I call usually the bliss or reward stage. So most people don't progress in meditation to achieve the bliss state or the reward stage. Many people, what they do is they reach the third stage and they think they have gone from, so most people, when they go from stage 2 to stage 3, they, not knowing better, they think it feels like monkey mind because the mind is acting up again and there are a lot of disturbing thoughts. They think they've gone back to monkey mind, and they try to deal with it with the same way. Focus point. Focus on the breath, focus on the God or divine, and they find that, hey, they don't achieve any result at all. Alright, so they never get to the fourth stage. Actually beyond the fourth stage, there's still other stages. But we're not going to talk about other stages in this talk. Alright. What I'm just going to focus about is to talk about these first 4 stages. Now, what is happening for most people when they meditate is they are going in between stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3 without knowing better. Alright, and they don't know how to differentiate the stage 3 from stage 1. And by treating stage 3 as stage 1 and applying the same technique of the focus point, it is very difficult to get to stage 4 and beyond of meditation. And that is why most people don't progress. Now, and for me, actually, I can see, I teach meditation, I meditate and everything, and I can see many experienced meditators, some with decades of experience, not progressing, not just about the stages. They are not able to progress in terms of the peace in their heart and clarity of the mind, because they are unable to get past this issue stage properly. And they are unable to get past this issue stage because everybody, or many people are mistakenly treating this issue stage as the monkey mind, and they apply this same philosophy. Just focus on your focus point. Just focus on the breath. Just focus on the mantra. Just focus on the picture or whatever. Now, if you keep on doing that, you will never progress in meditation. Okay? So what do you need to do? That will be the question. Now, for us at CordyKet, when we teach meditation, when we conduct meditation retreats especially, right, we'll typically, I will point that out to those who attend our meditation retreats or who practice meditation long term with us. Now, same, we have our different types of meditation methods. We use a focus point to help people get from stage 1, monkey mind stage, to the peace stage. But we also tell people this: if you reach the peace stage and after that you will likely hit what we call the issue stage, the third stage, then the third stage is not the same as the first stage, and you need to learn to recognize it, and you need to learn to deal with it correctly. And the correct way is not to treat it as the monkey mind and keep on focusing on the breath anymore. You shouldn't be doing that. And this is something that Cordelia and I kind of discovered, right? That, keep on focusing on the breath or focusing on whatever the focus point is doesn't get us anywhere. So what do we do? Now, this issue stage, how do we identify it? All right, how do we identify it? And how do we differentiate it from monkey mind? So monkey mind is, first of all, what is monkey mind like? So monkey mind is like when we sit down to meditate, lie down to meditate, stand up to meditate, for those people who do meditation. The monkey mind is typically thinking about a lot of things that we have not done, we need to do, or maybe some distracting. Our mind may want to distract us, like what are we going to have for dinner? What are we going to eat after meditation? Or what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do the next week? So our mind comes up with a lot of things when we want to try to steal it, when we want to get to a peaceful stage, our mind just resists and is jumping all over the place and coming up with things to distract us. But usually it is the things that we have not done, we've not completed, and it kind of pops up. All right, usually it's like that. And if we get past it by focusing, we get to peace stage, and it's relative peace. Yeah, relative peace. And after we sit in the relative peace, then the issues will come forth. Now, this issue stage does not only happen when we meditate. This issue stage always happen when we reach a certain amount of peace in our mind. Let me ask you all, especially those of you who are new, who've never attended our retreats before. Have you ever noticed, or are some of you afraid of silence, afraid of being alone and having to face silence or lonely time, alone with yourself? How many of you are like that? And how many of you realize that should you quieten down, stop being busy, and manage to sit down and have some quiet, peaceful time, you don't like it because your mind starts to think about the things that make you upset? And how many of you realize this? A lot of this type of moments come to us in the still of the night, when we are about to sleep, when all is silent at night, and suddenly something hits us when we are trying to go to bed, and we are reminded of how awful our life is, how unhappy we are about our life, how unhappy we are about a certain person, how we have been trying to avoid facing or dealing with difficult situations in our life, and it all surfaces up typically for most people right when we are about to sleep. Just when we think that we are about to fall asleep, and suddenly the thoughts come up, and after that we just can't fall asleep because we are so upset by all these thoughts. How many of you have experienced this? Anyone? A show of hands. Do you all get what I mean? Most people would have experienced this, right? And so some people, they are just so afraid of being alone or having quiet time, and they keep themselves busy so that their mind don't have to think about the problems that they have been. What have people, they have been doing this? They have been avoiding. They have been avoiding what? They have been avoiding the issues. This is the issue stage. So what happens is, anytime when our mind is able to go into peace, it's like water. You know water? Water that suddenly becomes still, and the sediment all settle to the bottom, and suddenly we can look into the water and we can see so clearly. That is what happens when our mind achieves peace. When our mind achieves peace, all right, now, I was using the water analogy, but let me share with you what does it mean to the mind. To the mind, when the mind achieves peace, right, and when everything is so still, the mind sees very clearly and realizes suddenly very clearly what are the things that we have been pushing to the back of the mind that we are trying not to deal with, that we've been avoiding. Yes? So it's like the water that has become very clear and still, and suddenly we can see right at the bottom of the water, all right, or right to the back of our mind that we've been trying to push, avoid the things that we want, we don't want to face it, we push it to the back of our mind. But now with the peace, right, everything is clear, and the issues come and float out. And these are the issues that disturb us. It could be something very, maybe no big deal. You could be meditating, you reach peace, and suddenly a thought will flow up in your mind: who owe you money and never pay back. And you're just like, oh yeah, the person have owe me money, a huge sum of money, and didn't pay me back. And you get upset, right? Because you're meditating, oh nice, you're feeling so peaceful, so nice. And suddenly the thought come out, and after that, you lost your peace. You lost your peace. Right? You're actually entering the issue stage. Most people thought they went back to monkey mind, and you thought, okay, I need to find back my peace. Okay, I need to find back my peace. And okay, just focus on the breath. Just focus on the breath. Just focus on the breath. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. And yeah, maybe you get back to peace. All right? And you're okay for that day. And then, let's say, the next day, you meditate again. Right? You meditate again, and you practice focus point, focus on your breath, and you reach the peace stage, and you're doing very well. And you went past the peace stage, and again you enter issue stage, and again the same thought come up. So and so owe you money and have not paid back. And then again you get disturbed. And you just treat it the same, and then you treat it as a monkey mind. You focus on your breath, and then maybe you get back, and you never get back to, you never progress to bliss. Instead, you keep on between peace issues, monkey mind, peace issues. You keep on doing this because you're not applying the correct method or the correct, you're not doing the right things to deal with your issue stage. So you're stuck there. And different meditation, different times you meditate may bring up different issues. So it could be, one time it could be so and so owe you money, or will be issues that so and so whom you dislike, whom you hate, it float up in your mind, and it's like, and you're so disturbed because it's someone that you don't like, someone that you hate. It could be, someone from the past, a family member, a parent, did something to you, or a sibling, or a best friend, or girlfriend, an ex-boyfriend, this kind of thing, or ex-husband, ex-wife, and you couldn't. It's something that you you don't want to deal with, all right? So it will float up in your issue stage. Now, so most people, the only method they know that they learn in meditation is just to keep focusing on whatever the focus point is. And they do get somewhere, but they don't progress really very much. They learn how to, every time they are disturbed, every time they're not calm, they just focus back on their focus point and they manage to regain some form of calmness. But the issues remain the same. The issues never go away and the trigger points continue to be the same. So, these same people, when they meet, let's say, the issues could be with an ex, with men, with women. So every time you meet certain people, you get triggered. Or when people talk about the same subject, you get triggered because the issues never went away. Now, what does true progress look like in meditation? All right. Now, true progress in meditation is, first of all, you will get past the issue stage. You will be able to go into bliss, and you can go into further very nice stages in meditation. All right. And true progress means that whatever used to disturb you will no longer disturb you anymore. Let me give you an example. So let's say a lot of issues are the things. What exactly are the issues? Issues are typically, all right, issues are typically unresolved. Things that are unresolved, things which we are very attached to. We hang on to them. There are things that we hang on to for our dear life. So, for example, let's say reputation, right? Someone may have gone through, let's say, someone may have gone through slander, and because of slander, they lost their job. They lost, of course, their reputation got very affected. All right, and it was a very nasty experience that the person don't ever want to think about again. All right, it's something that they choose to avoid and it's unresolved. They hate the people who slandered them, for example, right? And they're very attached to their reputation. So when they meditate, because they've not dealt with it, this issue, okay, what's happening, right, for energy sense is this. So I'm going to talk about it from energy point of view because we are into energy and we understand things energetically. But other than, so this is, first of all, representing a person who's meditating. Now, when we have unresolved issues, we actually have negative energies that we store in our body. These black dots represent negative energies. Anytime when we reach peace, our energy becomes very nice and comfortable. All right, and for some people, there will be invisible light, the aura. There will be an aura. The aura will be very strong. All right, the aura will be very strong, and what's going to happen is, and the energy becomes very still. When the energy becomes very still, what's going to happen is these issues are going to rise up. These issues, the energies are going to rise up. Or you can think in terms of the mental image that I was saying, right? The mind suddenly becomes very clear, and whatever we've been keeping at the back of our mind, we can suddenly see it. Our subconscious mind, our unconscious mind shows it to us. These are the issues. These are the stuff that we are unresolved, we are very attached to, we've been avoiding. All right? And these are the stuff, the issues are the stuff that are our triggers. Yes? So a trigger could be a simple thing as, just because a long-haired, sexy woman, left you for another man, and so the next time you see a long-haired, sexy woman, you get very upset with that long-haired, sexy woman, even though it's not the same one, because it triggers us the memory of an unresolved issue that is still within us, and we get mad. It can be a very simple thing like, So there are many types of triggers. It could be a simple thing. Let's say for some people they are overweight. All right. So their issue is with people who say that they are fat, or the issue could be simply the word fat because they can't take it. So anytime people say fat, they get triggered and they get very unhappy. So it's an unresolved issue. They're not able to resolve the issue such that the word fat, because they're so attached to the word fat. Don't mind, people, sorry, if I'm just giving an example. No, I'm not prejudiced. I'm just giving an example. Yeah. So it can be something like that. So they have this unresolved issue with that word or certain words. So what's going to happen if no matter how much meditation they do and how much mastery they think they have over their mind and heart, that they can be able to calm down, they still get triggered. Now, the idea of true progress is if we work on our issues, the issues will no longer be there, and these same triggers will no longer affect us. The same long-haired sexy woman will not make us upset if we see a long-haired sexy woman. The same word fat being used by those people who used to make us all riled up and upset, it will no longer affect us. Or the thought of your sibling or your father, your mother. A lot of people, they have issues with family members or with their exes, right? Because something very emotional happened and they are unable to resolve it, and this issue will remain in their mind, in their body, and anytime you have a peace, it bothers us. So we need to recognize, right, when we meditate or even without meditation. Again, I'm reminding everyone, anytime you have peace, it could be a silent night, a still moment, it could be daylight. You don't have to be sitting down to meditate. You're just chilling, having a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or some alcohol, and then suddenly this thing comes up because you're suddenly still enough and these issues will just float up, or you suddenly can see clearly in the back of your mind and it hits you. All right? So the issues, and you'll be able to recognize is something that you are not is unresolved, you've been avoiding, it's something that you're very attached to. This you can't let go. Yeah, you can't let go. Or so attachment. All right, it can be something that you want very much. All right, that you crave very much for, or that which you are very averse to, which you don't like very much. All right, even if you don't like something, it's attachment. Yeah, you're very attached to something, not wanting. For example, not wanting to die is attachment to life, over attachment to life. Not wanting to grow old, right, is attachment to youth, right? And for a lot of people, they are very attached to beauty and they cannot take it, right? If they're born beautiful, and they're very averse to looking, not in their best, right? When they age, or when they have a pimple, that kind of thing. So that is all attachment. So what do we do? The question is, what do we do, right? So first of all, you learn to identify it. You realize you will realize it's not your monkey mind. Once you realize it's the issues, you need to stop doing this. Because if you do this, you get nowhere. Now, the main question we need to realize is this. Why is it that our mind, our subconscious mind, our mind, or our energy, why is it every time when we reach peace, the issues will float up? What is our mind, our subconscious mind, our energy, what is our spirit trying to tell us? Why does it bring something that we try our best to avoid? We try to put so much energy to avoid. Why is it that when we have peace, and we want so hard to have peace, and avoiding, usually we associate, but avoiding our issues, avoiding the stuff that we don't like, then only we can have peace, yeah? Most people associate like that. Yet when we have peace, we have to face the stuff that we've been trying to avoid. What is our mind? What is our soul? What is our spirit? What's our energy? What's the universe trying to tell us when this happens? It's very simple. Our mind, our energy, our spirit, the universe is using peace to bring forward, bring to our attention our issues, and they want us to do this. Make a new decision regarding the issue. You need to make a decision regarding the issue such that the issue will be no more. Do you get what I mean? It is bringing forward the issue because this issue is something that we, by our choice, whether it's conscious choice or subconscious choice or unconscious choice, we choose to avoid, we choose to suppress. People either avoid, people will suppress. And for some people, they do it unconsciously, and that is called repression. Repress, suppress, repress. Sweep under the carpet, hide it in the closet, whatever. So you're trying not to face it. You're doing anything but to face it. You're doing anything but to make a new decision. And we are making the same decision. The same decision is typically avoiding, or the issue is something that is very unpleasant, right? The issue that we put there is a person that we hate. So every time the issue comes back up, most people, if you're dealing with it as the monkey mind, which means you focus on the breath again, focus on your focus point, you're not making the issue go away. You are doing the same thing. You're avoiding, suppress, and repress, and you may actually build up this issue within you. Do you get what I mean? So we don't want to suppress, repress, or avoid anymore. We need to make a new decision because that is what our mind, our energy, our spirit, and the universe is trying to tell us. Look here, this issue, what are you going to do about it? Are you still going to hate this person? Are you still going to choose to be attached to beauty? Are you still going to choose to be attached to youth? Are you still going to choose to hate so and so, be angry with so and so? And if you do, you will never find your peace. You will never find your bliss because your issues is in the way. So in order to progress, what we typically will need to do is very simple. We need to make a new decision. We cannot make the same decision. The issue pop up, we don't say, oh, I see my mom. I used to have serious issues with my mom. I don't mind sharing. I have issue with my mom. I meditate, I see my mom again. And my mom nagging me. And I get upset. Now, if I was in the past, I would just like, go back to the breath. Now, I would treat differently. I will go and evaluate what is my issue in that image that I saw, that I felt, that, some people will see, some people will feel, some people will have memories floating up. It's an issue, and we will think, I'm just giving an example. My mom's nagging me. But now I know better. I know I need to make a new decision. All right? Typically, the new decision, let me just share with everyone, you only need to do typically two things. In general, two things. You need to accept. Typically, you need to accept what you cannot change because a lot of things are in the past. Yeah? You need to accept what you cannot change. And what you cannot change include people. How many of you can change people, can truly change another person? Right? If you are really good at that, congratulations. But most of us cannot change people. I cannot change my parents. Right? And certain people we know we can't change. Yeah? So things we cannot change, the past we cannot change. So those are the things that we need to accept. And the next thing that we typically have to make a new decision, the way to deal with the issue is either we accept or we do this. We let go. We don't hold on to it anymore. We don't be attached to it anymore. we let it go. So maybe, for me in the past, I would have been very upset with my mom because my mom was so naggy, and then, she did a lot of things to me in childhood, which to me, I think that, I didn't have a great childhood, and I blame my mom. Right? Now, the way I would have to deal with it, if it, when it came out in my meditation, I need to accept that my mom was like that. I need to accept the past cannot be changed. I need to let go of my pain. I need to let go of the pain I lived through as a child. Being my mom's son, or being my father's son, or being my sister's brother, whatever upset things that I suppressed and repressed, and I kept it within me, such that it affects me, such that when I see my parents, I can't have a decent conversation with them without getting into an argument easily. How many of you have things like that? Those issues are like that because we get easily triggered. Yeah? Now, true progress is when we do it, we accept and we let go, or we let go. And I always say this: accepting and letting go brings us to the same destination. If you can accept everything in your life, all the shitty stuff too, not just the good stuff, you can accept even the bad stuff that happens in life, that means you have let go of everything. Do you get what I mean? If you have let go of everything, if you let go of all your attachments, it means you can accept anything that happens in your life. These two are essentially the same thing. If you can accept everything, it's the same thing as letting go of everything. Yeah? So typically we need to make a decision, and the best two decisions are this. And of course, understandably, not everyone is able to do so. And there is a so-called a lesser alternative. All right, a so-called lesser alternative, because a lot of these issues involve people. Yeah, involve people. A lesser solution, I dare say, is forgive. Some people will say, I say forgive is a lesser solution because most people cannot forgive 100%. Right? And that's why people say this: I can forgive, but I cannot forget. Have you heard of the term? People say I can forgive, but I cannot forget. Actually, what they actually mean is I don't really forgive. Correct or not? Anyone who says I can forgive, but I cannot forget, actually what they mean is they cannot really forgive. They just like to put it another way. Yeah? So, now, I acknowledge that some things that may have happened that cause us to have issues are very painful for us, and it's not easy to forgive. And that is fine. I'm not asking you to forgive 100% at one go. Try to tell yourself, if it's very difficult, I forgive 1% today. Today I forgive 1%. And if I have it in me tomorrow, I forgive another 1%. You keep on trying to forgive more and more, and eventually, hopefully, we will reach 100%. But we want to make progress. This is the only way. And if you really do it, you'll find that if you make enough progress, either by making a new decision, you accept or you let go, you forgive. If you do it enough, you will reach the fourth stage and you will experience something that is like bliss. Very wonderful feeling. Or you have a reward stage. Typically, a reward stage may be, if they're Christians, they may see Jesus, they may see angels. If they're Buddhists, they may see Buddha, and they get rewarded with a vision of Buddha shining light or something like that. So usually it's a very nice stage if you get to work on this and you truly made a new decision, and it's a firm decision that something in you changes internally, and what will happen is that darkness of the issue will lift up from you, and it will free very positive energies. By this negative energy leaving you, what's going to happen is that very positive energies, so these are negative energies leaving you, then positive energies will be free to come out come forth from you, and some people will see light shining and all those kind of things, and that's when you experience bliss, and that's when you experience something that's akin to rewards. All right, and that is typically how we need to progress in meditation, and this is also the reason why, now we understand truly why people don't progress, because many people hang on to their issues. Many people continue to suppress, to repress, and to avoid. And many people don't want to face it. And so they remain unchanged. They face with the same anger, same triggers, even though, I've met people who've meditated for decades, yeah, and they have temporary peace of heart and mind because they're able to bring this peace stage through their practice of focusing on the breath or whatever focus point, but they still get triggered. And I recognize it for what it is, because I once did the same mistake. So what I would like to share with everyone is this. If you do meditation, right, you manage to reach a stage that is of issue stage, and you know it is something that you need to face, what you should be doing is not go back to your focus point. What you need to do is make a new decision. This new decision is to accept or let go, typically, or to forgive. And you don't actually need to deal with this issue in your meditation. But if you deal with it in your meditation, because you're so still, if you actually make a real, firm, solid new decision, the negative energy, the issue is going to leave you. It's going to free up very positive energies to come into you or to come forth from you. You will experience bliss. This is what happens. And then it will no longer be your trigger anymore. And that's how you know you truly make progress. Because if you're a true meditation person, you will be working on your issues, and over time, after years and decades of meditation, you should become a truly calm person, a person who is not so easily triggered. Right? And this is something that at least I discovered, myself and Cordelia discovered, and we've been practicing this. And I dare say, I noticed these remarkable improvements in my own character, my own emotions and state of mind. I'm much more able to stay calm, and I don't get triggered so easily anymore. And it's very reflected in my energy. Those people who are very energy sensitive, you will be able to sense it or feel it, or I don't know, if you really know me very well, you notice that I don't get triggered very easily. It's because of this. All right. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to ask. Again, I remind you all, if you speak, right, this talk is being recorded and it will be uploaded to YouTube, and it will record the speaker. All right. If you don't want to be recorded, just type your question or comment in the chat box, and I will read it and I will answer your questions. So Coral mentioned this. Sometimes when I'm in meditation, I've resolved my issues. There has been only less than a handful of times where I've reached a state of nothingness or blank. Was not scary, very peaceful. But after or outside of meditation, throughout the day perhaps, I do not feel that way about my issues anymore. Still will have strong emotions, attachment to those issues. Maybe less than before, but it is quite frustrating. Yes. So now the thing is, most of these issues, or some of these issues, can be stuff that we are very attached to, or it could have been things that are very it could have been due to incidents whereby there was there were strong emotions due when it happened. Yes, or it invokes very strong emotional response in us. So it becomes something that we are very attached to, whether we crave it or we're averse to it. Typically, that is the thing. And these type of things, it takes time for us to resolve the issue. And normally I explain it like this. So we really need to accept and let go. And some of our issues can be very deep. It can be very deep. Let's say this issue of darkness. So it's just a metaphor. It could be something, it's very deep within us, within our body, within our energy, within our mind. Now, every time we try to resolve this issue, what we're kind of doing is we're trying to dig it out. We kind of dig it out. So the first time, like Coral, what you mentioned, you may have managed to dig it out this part, but there is still some depth more before you clear it out, and that's why you still feel it again. It still triggers you. So it can be a very long process. All right, it can require many iterations, many cycles of us becoming aware and making the same new decision to let go, to accept. Before, we keep on digging, and we keep on digging. And sometimes we dig until like this and we think that, oh, it's pretty good. We kind of no longer get triggered so much, but they may come to get an incident, right? Once in a long while, and on the same issue, and bang, we lose it. We lose our cool. We had a shouting match. You get very upset, or you cry and you break down because the same issue bothered you, or maybe it's a very incident that needs to poke you very deep to trigger it. And if it does happen, you know that you still need to work on the issue. And if you have truly worked on your issue, you have dug it all out. All right? And ideally, after you've dug it all out, you fill up the hole with goodness. You fill up the hole with goodness. No more black stuff. You fill it up with goodness, right? With a nice healing energy, healing state of mind, decisions, thoughts. Then this thing will never ever bother you again. Is this easy to do? No. You will need many cycles. You will need to repeat to yourself. You need to ask yourself what you want. Do you want more of the same unhappiness, more of the same triggers that is within you, they will always cause you to be upset because certain words are mentioned, or because certain scenarios replay themselves and it trigger an issue deep within you? And you become an ugly person, because when you get triggered, right? When we get triggered, we become a very ugly person. We can get very angry. We can get very, some people get angry. Some people get fearful. Some people, break down and cry and so on and so forth. Yeah. So if we don't want those unhappy moments anymore, if we don't want to have to keep on trying to keep busy so that we don't have to face our issue, because we can't stand it when things get peaceful and our issues float up to our awareness, then we need to face it. And we need to make a new decision. Don't make the same old decision to hate the person, to be angry with the person, because don't have the same conclusion that that person is an asshole, she's a bitch, because you are making the same old decision and you're perpetuating the issue deep within you. You need to make a new decision. And for that reason, peace, whenever you have peace, our mind, our energy, our spirit, our soul, the universe will show it to us. Now that you're peaceful, maybe you can face your issues and make a new decision. And if you can do that, you will progress in your meditation, and you will progress as a person. And less things will bother you. I'm sharing with you this as a person who have done the work. All right, I've been meditating for many years, but to have discovered this and practiced this type of way in dealing with my issues, maybe 12 years. I've been doing this work since 2010. I've got to have the realization about how to deal with meditation and all these issues. Maybe 12, 13 years, that kind of thing. And I realized it, and ever since I realized it, I don't do the same. Don't just focus on the breath or focus point, or for us, we do light meditation, focus on light and everything. No. Deal with the issue, make a new decision. And you can make a new decision either within the meditation. All right, within the meditation, you don't need to focus on your breath anymore. You'll probably be very upset. You may be hyperventilating. You may be crying and breaking down. But you need to make a new decision where possible, yeah? Or you can do it outside of meditation, because your meditation will show you, here it is, this is your issue, here it is. Look at it, all right, and make a new decision. Take your time. You don't have to do it within meditation, but if you do it within meditation and if you do it well, when the issues leave you, you will experience bliss, because you're still enough, right, and you're present enough, mindful enough. You will experience the negative energies leaving you, and you will free positive energies, and some people will experience what is known as bliss. Okay, so with that, that's all I have to share about this, why most people don't progress in meditation. Is there any questions or feedback that you all have for me? Any questions or feedback? No? I think this is the first time I don't have a question or feedback from Edwin. Right, otherwise I always hear from Edwin, but it's okay. All right, I hope everybody learned something. If you are a meditator, whether you're watching this live or as a recording, try it out. Okay, when this thing come up, make a new decision and see how you progress in meditation and how you progress in life. All right, so with that, I thank you everyone for joining me. If you are interested, tomorrow we'll be having Unity Qigong, typically around the same time, right, 9 p.m. Malaysian time. And we also teach our methods of meditation, like light meditation, non-attachment meditation. Okay, so you can join our sessions. It's a free and donation basis. If you feel that this has helped you, please do consider making a donation to support our online events. If you can't afford it, it's free. All right. So have a good day, good night, and thank you. Bye.